Hi, everyone. Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets here with your weekly marijuana market update. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and get notified each and every time we post up a new video. Just make sure you click that subscribe button and then hit the notification bell and get notified every time we put out something new. We've got a lot of great weekly features on here, including Ask Adam Anything, Investing with Charles. We have our Bull and the Bear podcast. We're also thinking of some new things coming out as well, so make sure you stay tuned on our YouTube channel and find out more about what we have in store. Also want to make sure you check out our premium investment service. It's called Green Zone Fortunes. This is where Adam, Charles, myself, and our entire team work very hard to give you the most up-to-date and in-depth analysis and stock picks that we believe are going to blow the market away over the next 12 to 24 months. And it's all less than a price of a cup of coffee every month. You can find out more by clicking on that link right above here. It's called Green Zone Fortunes. Now, today I'm going to start our marijuana market update by answering a viewer question from YouTube. And I'm also going to tell you about a cannabis stock that I'm taking a very hard look at as a potential investment. Now, recently on YouTube, Henry asked, "Hey, Matt, thanks for the videos. Can you do an analysis on high tide?" Harry, thank you for your question. I'm more than happy to dive deeper into this all too familiar company. Now, let me preface by telling you and qualify that by telling you that I recommended High Tide Incorporated, which trades on the Nasdaq under the ticker symbol HITI, for my cannabis watch list back in March of 2021 with strong expectations of the stock. Now, for those who aren't familiar with the company, High Tide is a retail cannabis company operating in Canada, Europe, and the United States. It started as High Tide Ventures Incorporated in 2009, but changed its name to High Tide Incorporated in 2018. The company is based in Calgary, Canada, operates 111 retail locations in Ontario, Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. However, what's more important here is the company has added a strong e-commerce presence to its portfolio after purchasing sites like GrassCity.com, CBDCity.com, and SmokeCartel.com. In 2021, High Tide acquired 80% of New Leaf Naturals, which is a Colorado-based cannabinoid company, with the option to purchase the remaining 20% at a later date. Now, to date, overall, its brands include Canna Cabana, which is its flagship brand, Meta Cannabis, Grass City, Smoke Cartel, Daily High Club, Dank Stop, New Leaf Naturals, Fab CBD, Blessed CBD, Valiant Distribution, and Famous Brands with a Z instead of an S. Now, on June 2nd of 2021, High Tide became the first one of the first cannabis companies to be listed on the Nasdaq Capital Market Exchange, moving from the over-the-counter market. It also lists on the Toronto Stock Exchange under the same ticker, HITI. Now, the company recently completed a $2.8 million acquisition of Bud Room, giving it ownership of Fastendr. Fastendr. This is automated technology that integrates into retail kiosks and smart lockers, and it can be used for browsing, ordering, and picking up products all in one location. Look forward to seeing that implemented, most particularly in Canada, on the cannabis side of things. Now, what it all means here is that while expanding its brick and mortar store presence in Canada, the company has also invested millions to grow its e-commerce and digital arm as well. And all this is expected to pay off high dividends for High Tide in the future. Now, the outlook for the company's total annual revenue is very good. From 2017 to 2019, the company managed only scant total revenue, but it was still able to grow. Now, High Tide performed very well during the COVID-19 pandemic, bringing in around $65.7 million in total revenue in 2020, and then more than doubling that the next year, last year, to $142.9 million. Projections suggest the company's revenue will continue to grow leaps and bounds through 2024. By that point, High Tide is expected to generate more than $550 million, or nearly 7,000% more than it did in 2017. Now, the projections are based on strong growth with that e-commerce position that it's grown in 2020 and 2021. High Tide had a great start in terms of its stock price in 2021. The price opened the year around $3 a share. Within the first 45 days of the year, that stock price hit a high of $11.82, which is a 279% jump in share price, all thanks to strong cannabis tailwinds at the time. Now, thanks to those broader cannabis tailwinds became headwinds as federal legalization talks in the U.S. stalled. High Tide stock started to take a downward spiral. In the last 12 months, High Tide has shed about 60% off its share price from a high of $10.90 a year ago to around $4.37 per share currently. Now, there's a brief rally in early February that pushed the stock price to around $5.50 per share, but that rally was relatively short-lived. Now, if we look at the Money and Markets Cannabis Power Rating, this is a rating of all cannabis stocks meeting a certain market cap threshold, we can see the stock is rated very well. It scores a 92 overall, putting it in the strong bullish category with a 77 on momentum, thanks to that push up in February, and a 69 on value. Now, if you remember, the Cannabis Power Rating System ranks cannabis stocks against each other, not against the broader market. It gives it a little bit more fair of a comparison in terms of its overall ratings. HITI is actually the 12th highest rated cannabis stock that we rate of interest. Now, in terms of value, the company currently trades at a price to sales ratio of 1.63 and a price to book ratio of 2.33. Its P/E ratio was at a high of 3 over the last 12 months, while its price to book ratio reached a peak of 21. So this tells us that High Tide stock has rotated from being very overvalued to equal or somewhat undervalued over the last year. But does this make HITI a buy for your portfolio? Well, if you would have asked me in early February, the answer might have been yes, as we saw a good upswing in its share price, indicating a potential momentum shift. But as you know, I look for stocks that have confirmed uptrend in its share price. The reason is it's likely that the uptrend could hold, giving you stronger potential for gains. It's kind of the buy high, sell higher principle that we work from at Money in Markets. Now, buying a dip is fine. The problem is you never really know where that dip stops. You could buy a stock on a downward trend thinking it's going to rebound, but if it doesn't, then you're staring at losses in your portfolio. There's a higher probability for gains if you buy a stock that's already moving on its way up. Now, we saw the stock price test resistance at around 550 and push down. Now it's looking for support at the 435 mark, and I'm not sure if that's the bottom just yet. In all, I really like High Tide. I liked it last year. I like it now. Despite placing big bets on legalization that haven't paid off, the company's positioned nicely to be a dominant player in the cannabis e-commerce, which hasn't really fully developed yet because of legalization issues. And it's a big reason why its revenue projections, as I mentioned before, are so strong. But before I take the leap, I would look for a stronger uptrend in its share price. I want to see more on the momentum side of the stock before I buy into it again. It's what we saw in 2021, and we reached gains of more than 20% at one point. So the philosophy of buy high, sell higher certainly does pay off. So Harry, thank you for your question. I really do appreciate it. Hope that answers your question. For asking and us using, we're going to reach out and get you hooked up with some free Money in Markets gear, like a t-shirt, maybe a hat, sweatshirt, something like that, and saying thanks for you asking your question. Now, some of you have also asked me if there's any cannabis stocks I'm looking at for potential investment. Well, the highest rated stock on our cannabis power rating system is actually Alcanna Inc. It trades over the counter. Its ticker symbol is LQSIF. It's primarily an alcohol retailer in North America, but it does operate 53 cannabis stores in Alberta, Ontario, and Saskatchewan. Now, the stock reached a 52-week high of around $8 per share in November, but has paired those gains relatively quickly. Since February, however, I've seen a trend where the stock is looking at higher highs and higher lows, along with a nice uptrend in momentum over the last few trading days. It closed up 3.3% back on Monday to around $5.44 per share. Now, the stock is in the green across the board in our cannabis power rating system with a 99 overall, an 87 on momentum, and a 92 on value. Its P/E ratio is 2.25 compared to the industry average of 15.3. So it's trading well below the industry average in price to earnings. Its price to book ratio is 1.5 compared to the average of 2.3. So it's showing very strong value, especially compared to its peers. Now, I want to see a day or two more of strong momentum, but I think Alcanna is certainly a cannabis stock worth looking at for your portfolio. Now, that's all for me. If you have any questions about cannabis stocks or the broader market, you can email me. My email address is feedback@moneymarkets.com. We'll put that down below right here. You can also comment on our YouTube channel. If you send us a question, or maybe even you video yourself asking a question, we stitch it in. We use it. We're going to send you some free Money Markets gear like t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, all sorts of great stuff. We'll send out your way. Don't forget about all the great content we have here on our YouTube channel. It is the best investment insight, and it is yours for free. Follow me on Twitter. I'll give you even more insights, not just into the cannabis market, but the broader market, sports, kind of a wealth of things. You can find me on Twitter at InvestWithMattC. InvestWithMattC is my handle on Twitter. You follow me, I certainly try to follow you back. Thank you for all of you who watch our videos each and every week. We do it because we want to bring you the best insights, not just into cannabis, but into broader investing. We want to give it to you all for free. Check out moneymarkets.com every day for new content that provides safe, sound, smart, simple, profitable investment information for you. You can use our proprietary green zone rating system, which is what I base my cannabis power rating on. And you can use all that rate. You can check out the rating of thousands of stocks. You can have a watch list on there, monitor performances, all sorts of great stuff on moneymarkets.com. And you can do it all for free. Just while you're there, make sure you tap in your ticker symbol in that search bar up at the top right corner, and you'll be able to find the ratings for any number of thousands of stocks out there. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money and Markets, your host of the Marijuana Market Update. Until next time, everyone, safe trading.